What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about free passing and why it is the most necessary mechanic in the game to scoring goals. Perhaps you have seen yourself on a losing end of a battle where the opponent was just free passing all over you, or maybe you've been trying to free pass and you just can't get the timing down. This guide is going to cover all of that. The first step in understanding how to do free passes better is just simply looking at your team and realizing which characters are going to be good at free passing and which characters are not going to be good. This is the competitive team that I usually use. Sometimes I'll have a Waluigi on this team, but in general I'll have a Speed Bowser with 9 passing, a Mario with 5 passing, a Peach with 14 passing, and a Toad with 17 passing. Now, this may not be every team that I use, but I will always have some character that will be good at passing, and it's always worth remembering which character that is so that when I'm on the field, I'm not going to be wondering why my pass didn't go as far. I'm going to go ahead and show you how the distances are different for each of the free passing characters. So here I'm playing as Bowser, and I'm going to try and pass it to the Toad over here. And as you can see, it does not go very far, and it goes pretty slow. So it's very possible for an enemy to be able to get to the ball and knock over the target, or even stop the ball on the way once it loses the ball invulnerability. So if I'm carrying the ball as Bowser, I would not do something as risky as carrying the ball and passing to Mario, because the ball is going to travel too slow and it'll be very easy for the defense to read. As you can see, the Toad just did that automatically, even though it's not even being controlled by anybody. And the same thing goes for Mario to an even greater extent. I probably can't even get it to the Bowser over here safely. But don't get me wrong, it's still useful sometimes. If I am here with an open lane, I'm probably not making a shot from here uncharged. But if I pass it to Bowser, he probably will make that shot with a lot greater frequency. However, if I'm playing as Toad, I'm going to be a lot more riskier with my passes because Toad can go a lot farther and send the ball much faster. So from the top of the box, I have no problem passing it to the Bowser here, because not only is that a not interceptable pass, but also it is going to get there fast enough that the enemy is not going to have a lot of time to react. The only way that the enemy can stop this goal, if the ball were to go in, of course, is if they attack the Bowser, which would give me an item. So that is a very nice trade-off. Even if the ball doesn't go in the net and they stop the ball completely, they're still going to give me an item that I can use later. Another thing to keep in mind about free passes is that you can use both ground free passes and lob free passes. They're both used in different circumstances. I feel like if you are just going for a cross, let's say if Toad is in this position, I'm trying to get it to Mario, I 9 times out of 10 am going to use a grounded pass, just because it's going to get to Mario much faster. So let me go back to Toad right here. As you can see, Mario gets the pass super quickly, but if I decide to do a lob pass, it's going to go super far. So lob passes do have the potential to go farther, but if your teammate is not in that position, then they have to travel to it, and it's going to travel slower, which means that they're not going to have enough time to grab the ball and score it. So usually if I'm going for a free pass cross pass, it's going to be a grounded pass. That way Bowser can just grab the ball and shoot. Obviously, it is very important that you get perfect free passes, because perfect free passes cannot be intercepted and they go much faster. So getting the timing down is just a matter of practice. It didn't take long for me to understand the timing for how to get these passes on. You just kind of hold the button for a certain amount of time and then release it when it's done. You can't hold it too long, because once it stops blinking, then it's just going to be a regular pass. It will still go the max distance, but it's going to be able to be intercepted, which is not what you want. So if you are new to free passes, I recommend just going into a match like this and just playing against yourself and just passing it back and forth, trying to get the timing down for the free passes. Another more advanced technique is something called stealthing the target, which means that you get rid of the reticle until you're right about to pass it. So if I'm Toad up here and I want to cross it down to Bowser, I'm going to charge, kind of backwards. That way they can't really see the reticle. And then as soon as I'm ready to charge the Bowser, I flick down into the direction I want to pass. So I'm over here charging, I'm just moving around. They can't tell the reticle is going over there, and then I can pass it. This all happens super quick, though, because you have to get the perfect pass. So I'm hiding and then perfect. Hide, perfect. Or if I'm over here, I can't just be sitting here and saying, ooh, the reticle's right over here. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to pass it. You can't really do that because, one, it's going to make your movement predictable because it's your joystick. That's the direction your joystick is going to go. So you might get tackled in that time. But it's also going to make it really clear of what you are doing. If I'm running down this way, I might want to, you know, target down towards the field right where Boom Boom is. And then as soon as the ball is ready to pass, I flick it up. You see how you can kind of just flick it wherever you want right at the end? That flicking at the end is very important because it's going to make it a lot harder for your opponent to react. You can also bounce it off walls. I've seen some people do that. So like if I'm playing as Toad right now, Toad can bounce it off the wall for a lob pass all the way to Mario. And that's also a pretty advanced technique, but very useful because if I'm over here as Toad and I miss the perfect pass, then it's going to go right into this Toad and get deflected, and I don't want it to get deflected. So instead, if I go off the wall, it's not going to get deflected, and it will actually reach the target, albeit super slowly. Incorporating free passes is going to make you score a lot more goals, because the majority of the goals that I score are ones that are right in front of the crease, and being good at free passes will just let you set up these goals a lot better. If I'm over here and I do a perfect pass, it cannot be deflected. In fact, it will move the opponent out of the way and stun them slightly so they don't even have the chance to tackle you. A lot better chances than, say, something like passing over here to Peach and then shooting, because if I pass to Mario, you will score from there. Those passes will go in almost every time because Boom Boom is very slow. If you watch the replay, you'll see that Boom Boom has to adjust to the new positioning of the ball, and he just cannot get there quick enough. So that is why these passes are so deadly, and also why it's important to have characters with high passing so that you can set up these goals all the time. One more important thing to mention about passing is how you can start off and set up a goal within the first 2 seconds of the match, which I use a lot of the time, and it has a very high success rate. What I do is I set up my Speed Bowser as captain so that he's good on defense, and then I put my striker, my most powerful offensive character, in second place with the Peach or other speedy passing character in third place, and you'll see why that's important that they're there in a second. Right off of the start of the face-off, I am going to run into the ball. Since I have Speed Bowser, most of the time I'm able to do this against a Rosalina or a Mario captain. So I'm going to run straight into the ball, and then I'm going to pass it to Peach, and then I'm going to pass it to Mario immediately with the perfect pass. So the only way that the opponent is going to be able to stop something like that is if they tackle the Mario, which is very difficult to do off the face-off because your teammates are not going to go exactly where they're supposed to. So let's see what this looks like in action. I'm going to run into the ball, pass to Peach, pass to Mario, in the goal. So that's exactly what it should look like. It is not going to go in every time, but it at least gives you a very good chance of scoring like that because it is so deadly as a start. And you saw how really hard it is to stop. You can also do this when you are scored on, and I think this is a better start than simply running as Rosalina and throwing an item and doing a charge shot. So instead, you can wait a little bit and walk towards the side of your passer character, because more often than not, they're going to use their lead to chase you down, and that's going to mess up their positioning a little bit. And then as soon as their positioning is messed up, you pass to Peach, pass to Mario, and then go for a goal. So in full speed, I walk towards the Peach, and then I go Peach, Mario, in the net. And like I said, it's not going to go in every time, but it's at least higher percentage of going in than just simply charging a shot as your captain. If you want to increase your chances further, you can actually use a free pass as Peach to set Mario up in a better position. So once I get it to Peach, I'll get a perfect pass, get it to Mario, and that's going to have a way higher chance of getting in. Also, it's very, very difficult to stop because the opponent is not going to be ready for something like that. The only way that they can stop that is if they switch to the Toad perfectly and also hit Mario on the way while the pass is going. And that is a very quick pass. They're probably not going to be able to react that fast, especially not with online lag. I guess finally, when it comes to free passes, you can use free passes in ways that don't directly go to a score. For example, if you're trying to clear the ball, free passes do go a little bit faster than a regular pass. So it is going to open up a couple extra ways of getting the ball downfield. So I could replace all of my passes with free passes. I guess if you're good enough at free passes, then you can do that. But also keep in mind they're not as instant, and they are a little bit more telegraphed if you only use free passes. That is pretty much all the things that I need to cover about free passes. I highly recommend that you add this to your gameplay as soon as possible because it will take your goalage to the next level. Thank you all for watching and have a nice day.